Good morning guys, James here, back at Dusseldorf. We're on the Sunseeker stand and we're going to continue this week looking through what we have here on display. Now we have done hundreds of these on the channel. There's lots of docking videos, lots of sea trials. It is probably my favourite in the range. Behind us is the ever popular Sunseeker 76 yacht. Now this was an evolution, originally 73 Manhattan, became a 75 yacht. Then we're updated to the 76. And this one goes and goes and goes. She is the perfect blend, whether you're an owner-operator, perhaps you're stepping up from a smaller owner-operator into a crewed boat, or you just want to run fully crewed, perhaps you've got charter business as well. She is a really, really good option in the market. She's a 4-cabin boat. You have the option in the back for 2 or squeeze 3 crew, and she's behind me here, looking majestic as ever here on the stand. Finished in arguably, I think, the nicest colour combo on this hull. The rail white, bright Sunseeker bespoke white gel coat, signature windows, the black signature boot top stripe there above the anti-foul, and then the painted LSA jet black hardtop that almost disappears into the background there, so it lowers the profile of the boat. It's very pretty shape. They are majestic indeed. Now these have V12 MAN 1550 horsepower engines, so they really do get on 33, 34 knots from something that getting on for 60 odd tons. She is a cracking boat on the water. Proper fin stabiliser system. From side power, we've got twin generators, options for things like large water makers. It is a very, very nice place. Perhaps you're down in the Adriatic and you're away on the anchor for days on end, or perhaps it's just a south of France day boat and you've got a villa base back on the land. It's a great boat. I could wax lyrical, as I say, many sea trial videos on the channel of these, how well easy they are to handle in close quarters, but out on the open sea, a really, really solid sea boat. So we start just over the £4 million mark, 4,050,000. This one's got £800,000 worth of factory extras, being a boat show boat. So she is a full 2025 model, Project 253 as we refer to her internally, and she is, being a boat show boat here, start of the week, currently available. So just a few stats here on the board. You can see fitting underneath comfortably the 24-metre load line, just under the 6-metre beam. Fits into the majority of the typical marinas where you'd expect to see something like this. Space on the back here, typically something like a Williams 395 jet tender. Can squeeze slightly bigger if you really want to, but that's a nice compromise. We have the beach club set up, so as you can see, drop down grill, seat, and there's a shower in that port side locker. Let's do the crew first before we head up onto the boat. In the back here, this one, I say, very much in the realms of an owner-operator, so not necessarily need the crew, and therefore this would just perhaps be storage space or even an ad hoc 5th cabin for guests if required. You've got a fixed double on this particular one over there. Sometimes we add a single bed as a plinth in here, or sometimes it goes in here to suit, depending on what the owner wants to achieve. Behind us, in this centre lobby area, we've got the typical washer dryer and what have you, some cupboard storage. We can do extra refrigeration or whatever you require. Separate laundry occasionally as well we get asked for. And then being a crewed area, it's very practical wet room style flooring here you can see, and then a sofa area. We've taken this out and built a mini galley in here. Really say versatile space to suit. Now we have the optional door that takes us forward into the engine room. Why don't we do this first? Normally it's the last bit of the tour, but I could spend all day in here showing you the detail we go into during the construction to make this such a clean, clinical, but usable space. Everything easy to get to, so you can see electrical panels, outboard wing tanks for the fuel system. You can see the heat proof lagging there on the exhaust, big turbo systems on the engines here to help them go. It's an absolute rocket up and out of the hole onto the plane, but they will run all day at 10, 11, 12 knots, still in that semi-displacement speed if required. And you can see over this side the two 27 kVA generators, so you've got not only redundancy but the option, if you are running all of the load on the boats, just over 150,000 BTU aircon system on this particular one. If you've got all of that and the galley and what have you on, you've got plenty of capacity there to run all the systems. So as we come back up, let's head on up to the cockpit. Plenty of steps to give that volume, and it is proper little ship feeling as we get up here into the cockpit. This bit's very classical centre U-shaped seating there with that converting top, so these leaves can fold in, and then you've got the option for more of a coffee style, and then open deck space to do with as you wish. You'll see on some of the boats we do an L-shaped moulding for seat in here. You can do some freestanding bean bags. There's room for director's chairs at the table. It's really up to an owner as to what they want. Over this particular one, we've got the third station control there with the throttle and thruster controls for close quarter manoeuvring. Over here we've got an ice maker. There's a refrigerator as an option in that one, and then just spin round, you can see all of the doors stacked back there on the starboard side. So there's 4 panes here. You can set them up however you want to. Flush threshold on the door, so this is a deck drain underneath that slatted teak panel there. But with them all slid back, this all blends seamlessly into one area. And this is the revised aft galley setup. So the classic boat, as originally launched, had the galley forwards, we had a dinette, and then this would be saloon seating. And then later on we brought along the option to do it in reverse, to give a secondary setup for those perhaps based in the Med where they're in and out dining. The aft galley has proven to be very popular, but still that classic layout with the galley forward is probably 40% of the boats that we build today. So as you can see, we have a fixed sofa on the port side with the dining chairs. We have a silver oak satin wood finish, lots of stainless steel detailing. As you can see on here, the bright LED lighting, some real funky patterns up in the roof there. And then some matte painted finish on the bar, just to break that up. Not going to go into too much detail of all of the cupboards and what have you, given we've done so many of these on the channel, but so given that she's available, it is just a good chance to see the fit and feel of this particular boat. Fridge freezer there, and as we said earlier, full electric galley setup, and then forward into the main lounge, saloon and relaxation area here on the main deck. So high-low TV, we can do this on a fixed plinth, but as you can see on this particular one, we've got that extra sofa on the port side, works really nicely. I think this is the best layout if you prefer the aft galley setup for sure. Let's just jump up the step here and look aft. It is a giant space, very, very quiet up as we're quite some distance from the water if we were afloat. And those lovely glass windows that we'll see more of as we walk down the side deck. You can see that's almost floor to ceiling glass here. Lots of natural light into this area. It's very bright and airy, great visibility. Whether you're sat down at the sofa or underway from the lower bridge here, it is a great space indeed. And then up here next to the helm, so we have an observation seating area, whether this is family, whether you're a crewed boat and it's somewhere for them to hang out, or it's a crewed boat and you want to come and sit with the crew when underway. You can see the optional second helm chair here on the internal bridge. Let's just jump up into the seat and you can see the view that you'd get as the captain. So if you were running from down here, generally the weather would be more perhaps windy or rougher waves, so you'd be internally protected. You'd be running on nav kit a bit more, so we've got 2 displays there. This is our CM8 monitoring panel you see on all of the Sunseekers today, and then everything to hand in terms of throttle, thruster, gearbox, stabilizer controls. It's all to hand. Crew door here to the starboard, whether you're provisioning the boat, whether you're a captain needing to get out onto the deck, or just some ventilation, that's a nice touch. There is an option for an additional glass panel up in the roof here. This particular boat isn't spec with that, but you can see, given all of the natural light that comes in through the side windows, it's by no means a necessary option. So down the stairs, you can see we're going to do a 180 as we come down, so that gets us down into the bowels of the boat to see the 4 guest cabins. And let's start really the showpiece of the boat as an owner operator would be the master suite, and it is giant. So that beam of just under 6 meters. Couple of different configurations down here, this particular one with the sofa over on the starboard, and then we're looking out through the port window. There we have the vanity station. Some very nice materials indeed. This has been very tastefully done. Can't take the credit for this one, but if you like that sort of Manhattan penthouse style, she is very tasteful indeed. His and hers style bathroom. So we've got a big shower up the end there, 2 basins, vacuum flush, toilet system. We've got electric heated towel rails. This is all wardrobes and storage, and there's an extra fridge in there, the safe, mirrors everywhere as well, quite clever use. This is storage cupboards here. We can put extra laundry in if you want another set separates. This is cabin number 3, so this is a fixed double bed arrangement, as you can see. So we're looking aft back there, and then there's a little vanity, there's a wardrobe over there. Dual access into here, so this is not only the direct bathroom for this cabin, but if we come forward, that also has a door there, Jack and Jill set up to use as your day head. And then over here, we have what would be cabin number 4, or the twin bed guest cabin. So as you can see here, there are 2 wooden slats in the floor, and that's because this bed here slides actually across to give you an ad hoc double bed. So again, versatile, whether you're running charter or different age groups of kids, what have you. It's a great solution. And then you have, of course, an ensuite there. And then to finish off, this is the cabin number 2, or the VIP guest cabin forward, to give you those 8 berths. Big island double bed, the vanity station, wardrobes, I say it is all very, very nicely appointed indeed. This is your bathroom, don't want to leave that out, somebody will notice. Same fit and finish as you can see through the rest of the boat. Some nice synthetic stones in there, very neutral with the light wood contrast. Some of these leather panels and the detail, there's leather stitched handrails. It's very, very well done. So if we come back aft, let's go up onto the Flybridge and see how that works. So big staircase, you can come down forwards or backwards on these, nicely engineered, as you will be often doing so whilst underway. And we come up teak laid deck. This is all optional on something of this size. Straight up into the wet bar setup as if you were running a crude boat, allows them to provision the boat easily from the deck below, whether they're serving food or drinks. And then this aft deck, given she is a stock boat, currently left blank, so there's loads of different solutions up here depending on how an owner wants to use the boat in the future. So we can do a fixed sunbed in here, which will give you storage, freestanding teak style sun loungers. You can do a jacuzzi. We could do a crane, have to make the rails on the back end here removable, that's quite easy to do. And then you could put a jet ski up here, so say lots of different options to suit each individual owner. And then we've got the open array 64 nautical mile radar scanner and what have you, that's all painted LSA jet black up there to match the roof. Just look over the back, just to give a feel how wide that platform is. Now the hardtop itself, opening centre section, so you can see that does allow some light and ventilation in there if required, but in the real hot weather, perhaps down in the Adriatic and the Aegean, you can get the sea breeze up here but still protect you from the sun. And then on the aft end of the Flybridge, this is like a patio awning that slides out horizontally to give some protection over the aft deck. The seating itself, so this is all fixed as you see here. We've got the opening top on the table, big fixed single leg pedestal base there. It's a bit more of a coffee style table in the middle, but opens up as you can see for dining. A couple of bar stools, they are removable, so if you want the extra space around the table, that's easy to do for some director's chairs. But it's a great place to hang out and enjoy a drink, perhaps You've got a sort of typical captain hostess dual crew on a boat like this, stepping up into the realms of a managed yacht before you move into something perhaps like an 88, 95, where you'd be on a fully crewed 4-person permanent staff. So this is all as you'd expect: refrigerators, ice makers, griddles, top loading cool box. And then the forward end of the bridge here, we have the optional table arrangement. This seat actually comes across, there's a little slot in there, so that gives you another sunbed if required. Table drops down to hide underneath that, and it's a great place to hang out next to captain co-pilot seat here. There's a drawer refrigerator, premium Simrad nav kit, so we've got extra screens and pretty much mirror image of all of the throttle thruster and switch gear that we saw down at the bridge below. So loads of videos on the channel how actually, once you've got the confidence in it, easy these are to drive, as there is great visibility. Hard to show really here indoors in a hall, but they are an absolute doddle close quarters. Big hydraulic thrusters, as I say, we're moving into proper ship systems. And an elevated view there of the Portuguese bow arrangement before we go up on the foredeck to see how that works. So let's head on down. As you can see, coming down forwards. And let's flick round and up onto the front. So we've got opening side doors here, quite handy occasionally in parts of the Med and the Adriatic, where you might come along a quayside. Here's your crew door through to the bridge inside. Big mesh window protectors on here to keep the sun out, and then we have this very, very clever Portuguese style bow arrangement. So that basically means we have the fixed seating here at the aft end of the bow deck, and then the split foredeck sun pads. Now that basically gives us significantly more lounging space, as if you had the classic centre section sunbed, you'd have a walk deck either side, and that obviously encroaches into the space available for chill out space. But given it's only real coming and going in port that you need the access, this has been cleverly redesigned to give you, as you can see here, the two sunbeds. They actually lift up to give you extra storage lockers, so you can put your fenders in there if you require. And then down here you can see there's a single 50 kilo stainless steel Delta anchor. That's an upgrade we tend to put on most of the show boats. And that's pretty much it. We just walked back down here. We talked earlier about the glass inside. Look, it's way over my head, just under 6 feet myself, and you can see just how much glass comes from the deck head here all the way up to top above us to let all of that light in to the interior. So in terms of availability, so this one is currently available. I do have, if you prefer the galley forward, I've got one of those coming out late April this year. Again, a white finish boat with pretty typical spec. So talk to us about that one if you want to know how the specs configure differently. But for now, let's leave it there. Contact details if you want to know more about this one or anything else here at the show. It's James at sunseekersouthampton.com, or the mobile is +44 7747 686 587. Nice to show you around. Always excited to bring one of these to the channel. Let's leave it there. Lots to see. Hopefully we'll see you soon.